Hello, everyone. Welcome to PyTorch Lightning Community Talks. I am Ishwarya Srinivasan, so I'll be your host for today. I'm super excited to introduce Manu Joseph, who is a lead data scientist in DAO-centric. Welcome, Manu, to the talks, and I would really appreciate if you can tell us more about yourself and what have you been working at DAO-centric.
Sure. Thanks, Aishwarya, and thanks. Glad to be here. If I'm talking about I got into data science in a very long and convoluted way. So I started in engineering, which is not even computer engineering, some other engineering. Then went into software engineering. And I took an MBA, was in supply chain consulting for some time,
Mhm.
and then all this while I've been slowly gravitating towards data. So
Okay,
then eventually I realized that this is where I want to be, and then made the switch completely.
that's amazing.
uh, yeah, and I think the first kind of like full-time data science core data science role that I was having
Mhm.
was with Thousandtrick, where like I was one of the first members of the analytics team in Thousandtrick.
Mhm.
So from that point onwards, I've been completely involved in um, like building the whole team up. And initially, I was more of you know delivering projects for the company for our clients.
Mhm.
Then slowly started building the team up, and now we are about 50 plus and growing very fast. So
That's amazing.
the kind of work that we do there is mostly about um, we do the entire implementation. So unlike a traditional consulting firm, right,
Yeah.
we just don't leave them high and dry after saying that okay, this is the solution. So we
Yes.
say that this is the solution, we make it, we implement it, and then help them run it also. So it's kind of like a full cycle.
That's
Yeah.
really amazing. So I actually like recently came across this project of yours, which was PyTorch Tabular, and I wanted to like talk to you more about that. And is this
Mhm.
part of your like personal project, or was this probably like a brainchild from Thou-centric?
Right. It's a mixture of both,
Mm-hmm.
because it started off because I was so in as you know, right, in the industry we have like 90% of the data that you work with is tabular data. You have
Yeah.
in like SQL tables, CSV files, Excel files, whatever. But so when we were looking at, I mean, internally, when we're looking at different things where we can improve our performance,
Hmm.
we kind of we know that the gradient boosting method works, so
Yeah.
that's there. But on top of that, we're trying different deep networks. But when I was doing that, what I realized was that, especially in the PyTorch community, there is
Hmm.
no real like awesome, easy to use tool except
Yeah.
from FastAI.
Hmm.
FastAI is a very
Yeah.
awesome tool.
You.
But personally, I have a small problem with FastAI is that it's not easily hackable. So
Okay.
it has a lot of internal magic that happens.
Hmm.
It's a little difficult to hack it, so that we
Hmm.
have to. I mean, if you have a new model or new anything that you want to do, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of gravitated towards another framework or my own framework. Started creating that framework so that it's as close to bare bones PyTorch as possible, but
Okay.
still have all of that awesome, easy dot fit mechanism that
Got it.
FastAI and the sklearn team has.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the motivation that I had to. Then it kind of blew up into a whole different library, and then I started to open source it.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah.
That's really amazing. So what made you like choose PyTorch Lightning as your trainer?
Mostly because I'm lazy, but but yeah, see, but seriously, right? Adopting PyTorch Lightning was like a no-brainer because you have a win-win there. So on
Mhm.
one side, you get away from a lot of boilerplate. You have
Yeah.
all of the training loop nicely abstracted out away,
Mhm.
and on top of that, you also get a lot of cool features, right? Like you can go from training on a CPU to a distributed multiple GPU nodes with parameterized things. You have easily like you can track the gradient norms and all of those awesome features which is there. That's
Mhm.
why I've kind of decided, okay, this is like the best thing that to have. And even when you're going to like when you're trying to put this in production, right, then
Mhm.
also having a strong foundation like PyTorch Lightning is always
Yeah,
helpful in that porting journey. So
absolutely.
that's kind of yeah.
That's amazing. So one of the things that I recently tried, I don't know if you have checked it out already. So it's
Hmm.
the PyTorch Lightning Transformer. So that's like a
Hmm.
really seamless interface where you can integrate like transformer models. So it majorly supports a lot of text analytics models, which is state of the art, and it lets you integrate with say Hugging Face
Hugging
transformers.
Face.
And the really good part is it comes with like a task agnostic methodology where if you want to like swap between different models, if you want to swap between different optimizers, is it's very 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 seamless. So
Hmm.
that's like one of the easiest way where you can only focus on like trying different models, trying different hyperparameters, rather than focusing too much on the syntax on or like spending too much time on the engineering of the code. So that's something which you can check out.
Definitely. Because funny thing is, I was actually using PyTorch Lightning to train some of the Hugging Face models, but with my own kind of things. But yeah, that's good. Definitely helpful. I mean, it's yeah, it's awesome to see that.
Yeah. And if I were to ask you, like, what would be your suggestion or recommendation to somebody who's just starting off with PyTorch Lightning? What did you learn in terms of like tricks and tips or best practices?
Right. So as far as the best practices are concerned, right? I think PyTorch Lightning has something called data module, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically like you encapsulate everything related to a data in a class. So that's something that I find it's very useful, because even when
Yeah.
you're experimenting, right? If you want to experiment with multiple data sets, it's
Mm-hmm.
just about switching one data module with another one, and then you're done. So you
Yeah.
have the next one ready. So
Yeah.
that's a very good thing. That's something that I always use as well.
So
Yeah.
interestingly, you're the third person who's telling us that they really love data module. So that's a good feedback. And if I were to ask you one, probably your dream feature, something which you would want to be integrated with
Hmm.
PyTorch Lightning, what would that be?
Hmm. So I'm not sure whether it's already there, but
Mhm.
like I told you, right? I was working with some of the Hugging Face large language models, right?
Mhm.
So, and I was just training it on CPU, on Colab, right? So there
Mhm.
is a time limit. So after that time limit, you kind of have to stop.
Mhm.
But I mean, although there are checkpoints and then you can resume from the checkpoint,
Yeah.
but what would be really awesome would be to kind of seamlessly resume the training, right? Everything including the data loader, everything, right? So basically, it's just like you play pause. I mean, pause it and then resume it after. So
Yeah.
that would be a really awesome feature to have.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. That's a great feature. Yeah. Just to have like a checkpoint after which you can resume it, sort of like that, right?
Right, right. Not just
Yeah.
the weights, but the entire training
Entire training.
dynamics,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's a great feature. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, I'll take your feedback to the team and let them know what
awesome.
are your thoughts around that. So thank you so much everyone for tuning into the community talks today. You can follow us on like GitHub. You can see the latest updates that we have in the package and the Lightning Transformer as well that I mentioned. You can check it out on the GitHub. You can also follow us on Twitter, which is at the rate PyTorch Lightning without a J. So we do put a lot of details about the latest releases that we have or like the latest models that we have been training on. So yeah, you can follow us and stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you so much, Manu. It was great talking to you.
All right. Yeah. Same
Thank
here.
you.
Great.